stay alive. Make sense? Any questions there? But really, some form of it has got to happen. That's the cornerstone. Anybody here daydream? Doing it right now? Yeah. Next topic I want to talk about, and off the sort of field, even though some athletes do it on the field too, training tool is visualization. And finally, it's becoming less woo-woo. You know, when I was growing up, it was kind of like visualizing it, kind of old and doing all that stuff. Like, you know. Basically, if you daydream, your athletes daydream, they visualize. What happens in the mind does two things. It has thoughts, okay, kind of words and thoughts, and it has images. Images are much more powerful. And when I frame it for kids, I talk about visualization as mental movie making. You know, something that they do anyway. And they get to write it. They get to star in it. They get to pick the music. And it, for once, is really, truly all about them. And they love that. So visualization, it is a very powerful driver of transformation. It works. A couple things I want to talk about with this. Increased practice time, head start, all this stuff. I want to... So where's basketball? Can you stand up for me? Can you just shadow shooting a free throw for me?
Sure.
Just shadow it, like what you would do. Bounce it.
Oh,
the whole thing. Yep.
It varies from kid to kid. But
well, you.
Sure.
Just show me yours.
Okay. So you bounce it.
Yep. Okay, cool. Now I want you to thank you. Now, if I had him totally wired up to read like muscle activity, when he was just doing that physical thing, right? And we were to draw it on the board, you know, it's probably like, right? There's muscle activity in doing this shot, from bouncing to this, all of that. Correct? Yeah. The thing with visualization, what they have found, is that if I got you to visualize and really get into it, the muscle memory pattern would fire exactly in the same way. It's just that, if I can trace this, the amplitude, right, if we were to measure it, the amplitude of it firing is less. But the pathway is the same.
So it really is a mental rep.
It really, well, even more than that, it really is a physical. It really is a physiological rep. Because when you put electrodes on the muscles, they are firing. They're just not firing with the same amplitude as really doing it. That is really cool. So that's what it means by increased practice time, a head start, focus. You are laying down patterning. There was a great story about a POW. I don't remember the war. I don't remember any of that. But basically was in prison for 18 years. Was a golfer. Okay? At a certain point, probably not from day one, but at a certain point in his incarceration, a lot of time to kill, right? He started to mentally play his home course in his mind. Where's my golf? Okay, so how long does it take to play 18 holes on average?
4.5 hours.
Great. So he would spend, can you imagine doing this? 4.5 hours. They got really good at it. Playing every single hole, every single lie, every single day. Okay. Over 10 years of doing that during his 18-year incarceration. Guess what he shot after he got out the first time he went to his home course?
Probably par better.
Par. Now, where's I have golf? I had another golf there, right? Like, I mean, how unbelievable is that? You haven't actually hit a golf ball for over 18 years, and you go out and do that. That's the power of that. So he kept his game fresh just by using visualization, and how powerful that is. Okay. So really wanting to get kids to use it. There's a couple things, this isn't quite so true anymore, but I brought it up just because some people would say when you visualize, think about yourself. And visualize in your mind doing some technical thing in your sport. How do you, when you're in your mind, how do you see it? Do you see, there's two ways you can do it, with an internal or an external camera. And what I mean by that is some people actually, like if I got in your body and I would see things happening through your eyeballs via internal camera. Or some people see it as if they're on the movie screen. Like they're sitting there kind of detached and watching. Early research thought one was better than the other. They're both the same. So if that's something that your kids worry about, not to worry about it. Okay? And for them, wanting to engage all the senses. Getting them, just like in a movie. If you ever watch a movie without music, it's called a documentary. Right? It's usually not quite as exciting or into it. So using all of them, and I'll give you a couple of these ways people use it. They can use it to practice perfect performance, kind of like the golfer. Okay? You can also getting them like tactically. You want to run a specific play. The more you can get them, either giving them a script, really well detailed written out, okay, or having them write it out really well detailed. That's how they can practice it. Try saying the next one, catastrophization. Right? Not actually visualizing a catastrophe, but if something were to happen or was to go wrong in the first part of a competition, seeing themselves get out of it. Right? Or flights of imagination. You know, like, what is that movie, Angels in the Outfield? You know, it's like seeing them do things that they just never thought possible. Anybody here use visualization with their athletes or have them do it? How do you do that with them? What do you...
I have them do oftentimes the rehearsal of perfect performance. I'm thinking of a couple kids in particular who have trouble doing things like blocking out or pursuing ball when ball's shot. And so we just had him practice it. And actually, first time I had him do it, he kind of laughed. I'm thinking one kid in particular laughed, like, this is the stupidest thing. Then he pulled down like 12 rebounds the next game. He said, hey coach, this thing really works. So
Good.
I don't use it all the time though. I just use it with certain kids.
Okay. Okay. How else have you used it? How do you work with them?
Well, for me, it's a sport of your body against a piece of apparatus. Mm-hmm. So it's controllable in a different way.
Yep.
So part of it is getting used to seeing what it looks like when you're doing things, and so it's learning to do that and think and visualize that as you're doing it.
Yep.
Because
more technique oriented.
Well, and then also there's routines, so you have to learn what they are, and being able to learn it in your mind before you just try to do it spontaneously. So
the ways I'm looking at it is you can give them a script. You can either give them a full detailed script and have them go through it. You give them a small strip of paper on something that you want them to work on and have them come up and create it. What I've done with that more is I want to make sure that we're on the same page about what it is they're supposed to be trying to do. So I might have a dialogue with them first to see what it is that they're thinking about, how they would do this. Now, since this has been written, a couple other ways that I've taken this to another level. Because every kid has access to a computer. Music is super easy. Video is super easy. They probably have photos. Right? Have them actually, a lot of times as coaches, we would spend the time to make highlight videos. Right? And you're into it. You've seen all the clips and that you can remember. Make them do it. Or not make, but have them do it. Have them make their own sort of highlight video. And if they don't have images of themselves, having them make a highlight video of a great performer that they want to emulate and putting it together. Because now in today's world, they've got their computer, they've got an iPad, they've got their thing. The more they can bombard the brain with that, the more that track gets laid down. And they will get into it.